Hey everyone, welcome to your March monthlies, and each month we've been focusing on a different chakra. January was the root chakra, February was the sacral chakra, this month will be the solar plexus chakra. That's all the yellow, that is the color of the yellow chakra, the solar plexus chakra. The root chakra has to do with how we kind of relate to groups or the world. The sacral chakra was how we related to another individual. And the solar plexus chakra is more how we relate to ourselves. So the theme of this reading for this month, we're going to look at how can I honor myself more. So we're going to dive into a reading for each zodiac sign, and we're going to jump into your sign right now. All right, on my Aries, this is your March monthly, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the You Are Awesome deck. And again, we're looking into how can you honor yourself more? What does the Creator want you to know around that subject? So one more time here. All right, so for your first card for our Aries, okay, start off with that one here. And I'll show that to you, and then I'll read it. A little iceberg action going on there. And it says, usually there's more beneath the surface, so take a moment to listen. In case you're sailing, don't listen to this card and steer clear. We all know how things can go in that scenario. So keep your eyes on the road, keep your eyes on the sea. But this is about digging deeper into you, getting into your subconscious and your unconscious to understand more about where you are not honoring yourself. I'm also going to pull a card here from a tarot deck, and I'm using the Sun and Moon Tarot. And what I do in my monthlies, at least up to this point, is I separate the major arcana from the four suits of the minor arcana. And for the major arcana, it's like this card where it represents just overall what the Creator wants you to know for the entire month. So I'm just shuffle these up a little bit here, and then we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about your March. So for our Aries, what else would you like them to know, please? Okay, there we go. And you have the Temperance card here, which this is all about the balance. You see the yin yang or the yin yang, and they have like this little alchemist thing going on where they have a cup up here and a cup down here, and there's this beautiful water that's going back and forth between the two. And I love this card for you for this particular reading because it is about this duality that we have. We have our, our human side. It's kind of like you have what's below the surface and what's above the surface. What we see in our world here is that human side of us, the character that we're all playing, but there's so much more to us than that. There's so much more beneath that surface. And that the higher cup represents like your higher spiritual self, that powerful, eternal, supernatural spirit being that's made of unconditional love. And then it also has the lower cup, which is the human cup, and it's pouring. This is like the Ace of Cups. The cup that's at the top is the Ace of Cups, which is the Holy Grail or the chalice, and it's full of the living waters, the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. And it pours that down into the human piece of us, and that is that fulfillment. That's what helps bring this balancing. This, temperance is about this peacefulness that comes, right? It's about not being the extremes. It's understanding the ebb and the flow, like the yin yang, like on the ring. It's all this, both pieces are within each. It's part of one another. The ego, our shadow, the subconscious is not something we want to destroy. It's something that can help us bring information. In fact, what I'm doing in each of the readings too is I'm pulling from this dark tarot for each of the four suits to help us understand what our subconscious, what our shadow wants to tell us, what information does it want to provide us to help us on our path, especially in, around that subject of honoring ourselves. So I'm going to deal these out real quick before we continue, and then we'll dive into each of the minor arcana which each of the minor arcana represent like 4 different sides of our human experience here. And I'll explain that in a sec. So I just need 4 cards, 1 for each. Okay, there's 1 and 2. And I need 2 more, please. Okay, there's 1 more, and I want this one right there. All right, so we will look at these as we go as well, but we'll start off with the first suit, which is the wands. Now, wands is like the fire energy. It represents like our drive, our ambition, our aha inspiration, our passion, but also our spiritual energy, our energeticness. So this is going to be what the creator wants you to know about the spiritual side of your month of March in regards to honoring yourself. So for our Aries, what would you like them to know, please? Okay, there we go. And you've got the Queen of the Wands. So, of course, fire energy is your energy, Aries. So you can totally relate to this whole energy. Let me just give you a little closer look here. So the Queen of Wands is someone that has such drive, such confidence, such ability to really laser focus their energies so they can, really focus in on where they're directing it. And so wherever you're focusing your energy is what's going to grow in your life. And I love this message that's coming in for this, because when you're honoring yourself, if you're focusing on these false beliefs about who you are, where you feel you're lacking, where you feel you're failing, that's like opposite of the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is focusing on all her beautiful abilities, and she's able to just make things happen. The other 3 royalty in the wands, the prince, the princess, and the king in this deck, they normally would have like a lizard of some kind, like a salamander or a gecko, something that's protecting them from the risk that they take in leaping and going after their passions. The Queen of Wands normally will have like a black cat. In this one, there's a cheetah, which the cheetah in this card, the cat represents the spiritual side, the connection to the spirit world. Normally, like I said, it's a black cat. All the queens carry the energy of their suit, like I said in this case, fire energy, but all the queens also carry water energy. And the water energy is the emotions, and that's where we connect through the heart to the spirit realm. So she doesn't have the need to be protected from a risk of any kind, because she doesn't feel like she's taken a risk. She's so well connected to the spirit world and understanding who she is that she's able to, make decisions very quick and act on them like a cheetah. She's able to move fast. So this, in regards to the reading about you honoring yourself more, it's really getting connected, really understanding who you are, focusing in on what you love about yourself. In fact, it would be a great idea to make a list of one thing every day for every day in the month of March of something that you're grateful about yourself, and help transform that. And we're going to see here about the subconscious piece here too. And you've got the Hermit. The Hermit card here is all about going inward, finding that light within you. The Hermit card, which is the number 9, is about digging within yourself. And the Hermit, has like a little lantern that they carry. And what's in that lantern is you, the higher, powerful you. So this is a perfect card for everything we were just talking about, because this is about taking time away from all that noise, from all those opinions, from all the outside world, and doing your inner work, your inner search, and go on this inner adventure to find this brilliance that you are. So she's carrying this big torch, and you have this big torch you're carrying here. So I love what that is representing here. Definitely this call to find the real you within yourself. And I'm going to kind of move these down, and we're going to pull a card here from the Return of Spirit just to get an additional message from the Creator, the Spirit, about your spiritual journey. So what else do you want our Aries to know? Oh, okay, there we go. Just to make some room here. All right. Yeah, mediumship. So definitely connecting to the spirit world, becoming a medium. And this doesn't necessarily mean only like speaking to those that have passed. Being a medium is like being a channel. It's being an open vessel, it's like being the radio station for the spirit world, listening to it, connecting to it, and sharing that information with the world too. And I feel like I do want to read from the little book on this one. Just move this down so you can see it. Actually, I'm just going to put it over here on the side. Put these three like that. And then let's read from the book here. It says, when thoughts of our departed family members or friends come to mind, it's because they're with us in that moment. This card can be a way for your departed loved ones to tell you that they love you and are still very much here with you. Most likely you're in need of their love, support, and encouragement at this time. And though you can no longer see them, they have not left your side. The other reason this card may have come to you is because you have a gift and an ability to speak to those on the other side. It is quite possible that you are not aware of this gift yet. Spirit is encouraging you to begin to develop this skill. And on the other hand, you may be quite aware of your mediumship abilities, but you're questioning your skills and your level of connection. Most intuitives feel they could be more connected, bring through clearer messages, or receive more information. It's hard not to doubt yourself at times, but right now, Spirit is saying not to, right? Honor yourself. You definitely have a gift, and sometimes we can just simply need to get out of our own way. Try not to compare yourself to other mediums. Just allow your gift to operate for you in its own unique way. Trusting and accepting are the quickest ways to nurture your connection to its full potential. Either way, those on the other side are reaching out to you at this time. Be open to their communication in whatever form it may come. Every person on this earth is born with the ability to connect with those who have passed over. Let me say that again. Every person on this earth is born with the ability to connect with those who've passed over. So do not doubt yourself. Do not doubt them. The more open and accepting you are, the stronger their communication will be. And that is so perfect, yeah. Definitely about honoring yourself and how you're defining yourself, how you're looking at yourself, how you think others have looked at you in the past. And this is the unconditionally loving beings on the other side of unconditional love and light communicating with you. And we talked about the Queen of Wands connecting to the other side, the Hermit going inward, finding this brighter light within you. Your spiritual journey is such an important piece of this honoring yourself, because when you're looking at yourself through the eyes of the judgmental world, how can you not feel small? How can you not beat yourself up? And so this is about stepping away from all that and finding the truth within yourself. And we'll dig more in here as we're going as well. And we're moving into the next suit, which is Pentacles. And Pentacles is the earth energy. It's the outside world. It is all the people on stage with you in this little play that we're in, all the props that are going on out there. So this is just about the outside world and what the Creator wants you to know about your physical adventure during the month of March. So what would you like our Aries to know about their physical adventure, please? Okay, and I went to that one right there. And you have the King of Pentacles, so makes total sense because the King is at the very end of the suit. And so this is about an abundant feeling, a flowing feeling, fruitful feeling. And it could be like the entrepreneur too, that you are at your highest in the physical world. And it definitely, the King of Pentacles brings a brilliant message around our worth. And I feel like that's why they're making their presence known for this particular reading, because having been through all the Pentacles experiences, because they're at the very height of the, whole suit, they have tried to fulfill themselves and define themselves by the external world, by relationships, whether that's romantic or family or friends or work or whatever. They've tried to define themselves by circumstances, which, like jobs or education or some sort of situation that you're in. And they also try to define themselves by their bodies, by their possessions, by their bank accounts. And each of those things were unstable because people change or pass away. Situations never stay the same. And things, of course, break down, deteriorate, or are stolen. So the King of Pentacles discovered that when it was trying to define itself by all those unstable things, it felt unstable. It dishonored itself, because it was trying to get all these things outside of itself, when inside, like this Hermit, is where we truly find our worth, we truly find who we are. Because outside, that's retail price. Anything that of value that's coming from the outside telling us what we're worth, that's retail. That's not self-worth. Self-worth comes from the self. So if you're like a coat, like a parka coat in Alaska, northern Alaska during the winter, you're priceless in the outside world. But if you're that same coat in the summer in southern Texas, you're on the 90% off clearance rack. That's how unstable that retail price is in the outside. So when you come back and look at your inside, that's where you find your worth. That's where you find your self-worth. Let's see what your shadow also wants you to know about that. And you have the Page of Cups. Cups are your emotions. Pages are new emotions. And the pages, along with all the royalty, they will bring the Ace of Cups. I don't see it on these particular deck, but they normally would have an Ace of Cups with them. And the Ace of Cups is like what we talked about here in that Temperance card. It holds this beautiful, brilliant, sweet manna of the unconditional love essence of the Creator. It is the liquid, the living waters. And so this is perfect with what we're talking about here, because the King of Pentacles, what they found that made him feel whole and complete is what they drank of that. They found that unconditional love that lives within them, which is the higher piece of them. So this is right in line with that. And then we're going to pull a card here from these Spirit Junkie Oracle to see what else the Creator wants you to know about your physical world in regard to your honoring yourself more. So for our Aries, what else would you like them to know? Okay. And all three? No, they said just that top one. And that is your card here, and it says, "Let me be still today and listen to the truth in silence." So this is so perfect with what we were talking about. I'm just going to kind of put it here, because the Hermit card is about stepping away, making sure. It doesn't mean you have to become a monk and move up into a mountain away from everyone, but it is definitely during March, making sure you're taking the time to get away, to get into that silence, get away from all the noise of the outside world, so that you can more clearly hear those capital T truths of the spirit world, right? As you connect to that higher love, connect to these higher truths, as you find this wisdom, is what the Hermit does in his internal journey, you realize that there are the small T truths of our lower human self and the capital T truths of the higher realm, which kind of brings us into the next suit, which is the Swords. Swords is their air energy, and it's our mindsets, our beliefs, our thoughts, our expectations. And so this is going to be like our mental adventure during the month of March. And that's where you really get to grasp and see the different tugging between the small T truths and the capital T truths. So which would you like our Aries to know about their mental adventure during March, please? Okay, I want that one right there. Yeah, you got the King of Swords. So you got the Queen and the King so far, which is amazing because this is like you're at the end of these suits. You really have grasped so much in your journey, which being the Aries, you're at the beginning of the zodiac, but it's almost like you've gone through the entire experiences of the entire zodiac and you're kind of at this new beginning, this new threshold. But the King of Swords, you can see here, he yields the Ace of Swords there. And that is what they're able to bring to you. They're able to bring that Ace of Swords, which does two things. It allows you to connect to those capital T truths I was talking about, and it helps you cut away those small t truths that no longer serve you. You know, we have come to this planet to experience what it might feel like to not honor ourselves, to judge ourselves, to feel low about ourselves and all of that stuff. Because in experiencing those opposites, we more fully understand the power of who we are. So the yin and the yang, it happened on purpose for a purpose. We wanted to see that contrast between the black and the white, the dark shadow and the white light. And by experiencing the conditional world, the small t truths, we're able to more fully understand the unconditional truths, those capital T truths of the higher realm. So this king is bringing you that gift. So King of Pentacles is bringing you that brilliant gift of your worth. This is of being able to really look into those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. And let's see what else here. They want you to know from your shadow around your mental adventure. Yeah, so you have the Five of Cups. And cups are your emotions, which we're going to talk about next. But this is about the three cups up here that are upside down. Those represent those three areas, like the King of Pentacles looked at. One of the cups is relationships, one of them is circumstances, one of them is possessions. And all those cups are what left us feeling empty. But you got the Two of Cups here upright. And what the Two of Cups represents are these two cups right here, right below this card here. It's the one cup is your human, the other cup is that Ace of Cups of the upper realm. And this shows you that fives are like this transformational energy. So this, your thoughts and your beliefs as this is changing, also change your emotions and how you feel about things. And you see that the old ways of thinking is what left you feeling empty and, you know, just hungry and thirsty still. But the Ace of Cups, the big cup that's pouring down, is bringing life to you. It's abundant. It is more tasty and sweet than any of the other bitter sour waters we drank of the outside world that left us feeling that emptiness, right? So it is, again, there's this importance that comes in here that it's like, well, I shouldn't even have to, you know, experience those three cups. Well, no, it's why we came here. We came here on purpose to experience all of that. And so it's important to feel the feels. We don't have to resist them and, you know, judge them as being something, you know, disgusting and wrong. When we embrace the subconscious, we embrace our shadow, we embrace the experience, then we feel the feels, but we don't have to act on them, and we can move past it. And when we're sick and tired of feeling a certain way, just knowing that we have another option, we have another cup to pull from that will satisfy us, just brings us this new freedom and brings you to this new place. I'm also going to pull a card here from the High Vibe Oracle. Just see what else the Creator wants you to know about your mental adventure here and about your work. About honoring yourself. So for our Aries, what else do you want them to know? Their mental adventure. Okay, I'll put that one right there. And yeah, like we talked about, a new focus. And I will show that and then I'll read it. It says if you're unhappy in your job, in your relationship, or with your body, the three things we talked about with those Three of Cups, right? Find something about the situation that does make you happy. For example, I really like the filtered water at work, or it makes me happy that my partner takes out the trash, or it is so great that my legs can carry me around town. When you focus on the things you like, you change your body's response. The situation might not be different, but your perspective will be, and you will feel better. Yeah, so we were talking about that with the Queen of Wands too. But with whatever you focus on grows. So if you focus on the things that you're grateful for, then you stop having other things grow in your life that you don't want to be there, because whatever you focus on will grow. So if you change your viewpoint, like it says, to this new perspective, that will grow, and this will eventually diminish because you're not feeding it. And then, like I said, we'll move into the cup suit here. This is your emotions. So this will be what your emotional journey will look like during the month of March. Just a little more time here. Here we go. So for our Aries, what would you like them to know about their emotional adventure, please? There we go. What a surprise. You have the Queen of Cups, so you got two kings and two queens. This beautiful balancing energy too between the masculine and the feminine. This whole balancing that's coming into play here with that Temperance card too. But the Queen of Cups, beautiful, beautiful moon energy. She is the water element, as we talked about. She also brings water, so it's like double water. She's like one of the most intuitive and connected to the spiritual realm, cards in all of this. So with this Queen of Wands here, with that fire and that water connecting, this definitely is about having this emotional connection to the spirit realm, is what's going to help you with this journey, with this understanding yourself more. And she always reminds me of like the High Priestess, who the High Priestess goes into her temple, kind of like the Hermit goes on his own journey. She goes into her temple and she makes sure to go into those depths, into the unconscious, the subconscious, the spiritual world, and she understands things. She gets into the hidden. She, with that, especially with that connection to the upper realms, it is very freeing, obviously, because you get to see things from that higher perspective and see who you really are, and not this little limited, small human creature that we think we are. And then you have the Four of Swords. So this is swords, like we talked about, are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations, and your mentalness. The Four of Swords, the Three of Swords would be like the Three of Cups, where that's the expectations card on that disappointment and all that thoughts and those beliefs of the outside world. But the Four is a very solid mental foundation. It basically, if you think of a four as like a table with four strong legs on it, it's a very solid, strong foundation. And this represents like your peace of mind that comes because you really are moving into this just wonderful transformation. I mean, you're at the Queen, the Queen of Wands. You're at almost at the very highest end there, because the King would be the ultimate. You have the King here, the King here, the Queen here. So you are, like we said, you're at this very pivotal part of your life right now, where just your whole way of feeling about yourself and the world is going through this beautiful, beautiful change. And lastly, what we're going to pull for your final card here, we're going to pull from these affirmation deck here. And this is going to be, it can be more about your emotional adventure, but since it's the last card, we're also going to let it be a wild card. And just going to be, what's the final message that you have for our Aries for the month of March? So what's your final message for our Aries, please? Okay, well, looks like you get two. And first you got perseverance. And that says, it seems you're on a massive journey right now, obviously, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. So this is actually a bonus card in these. So and I like this. One, it's okay to feel your feels, like we talked about with this Five of Cups, but also be aware of whatever you're focused on and is what is growing. So if you focus on all the negativity around it and the grunting and all that, that is going to make it harder. So persevere and be aware of where you are focusing your energy. And then you have communication, which where you talked about communicating to the other side for sure. So it says, wonder how that other person's feeling? Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling? Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will just make asses out of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism. So I love that this really is emphasizing about communication, though, about communication to the upper worlds, to those on the other side, because this is huge here. Because that is going to help you get to the root of these feelings about yourself that you've been having, these thoughts and these beliefs that are going to be transformed with this Ace of Swords. You're going to cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. You're doing this inner search within to find the capital T truths, because the small t truths on the outside, they've brought you the experience, the opposites that you've been wanting to experience. It's like pretty much like this, the darkness here. You've had the experience of walking in the darkness, and you're ready now for a new experience to walk with this beautiful Ace of Wands that she's granting you here. So you've got the Queens granting you gifts, you got the Kings granting you gifts. And so there's nothing that you cannot do. Like it talked about with this mountain, you have felt like you've had this mountain that you've been climbing for forever, but you're almost at the summit and you're ready to reach the top there. So just keep going. You are definitely like almost at this culmination. Like I said, king, king, queen, queen. You're almost like, if you had 4 kings, that mean like you are at the top. So you're just like right there, almost at the summit. So hang in there. Take some deep breaths, take some time to yourself, connect to the other side, and you're going to get the answers that you've been looking for. And with all of that, you will just see how awesome you really are. And as we talked about in the beginning, you are awesome, and you will find that within yourself. And we're going back to this here. They're pointing me back to this iceberg here. You're going to find how big you really, really are. This is how big you think you are, but when you really start to dive deep, you start to see, wow, you are so much more than you have ever been taught that you are. So I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also do weekly energy updates by each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, etc. Do new moon and full moon readings and a variety of others. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click that like button, and then also click on the subscribe button, that'll have this notification bell that you can click on as well. That will allow you to change your setting to be notified when any new videos come out. Also, doing any of that helps spread the love, because when you like a video or share a video or subscribe to a channel, it just makes the YouTube algorithm giddy and it wants to share the videos with others. So if you want to do any of that, of course, I am so grateful for it, but never any pressure to do so. I also want to make sure you're aware that, these are general readings, and if you want to get into more specifics, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. So again, never any pressure, but I always want to make sure people are aware, because some people on YouTube don't do personal readings, but currently I do. So just want to make sure you know that that's an option if you so desire. So all of you Aries, as you go throughout your month of March, just know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing March. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. And until then, you take care.